Hello Flosstube, AM Dreaming Stitcher here with another installment in my never-ending parade of all the kits and charts and booklets and whatnot that I have accumulated over my 25 plus, more like 27 and a half years of cross-stitching. I have far more than I could ever stitch. It's ridiculous, it's excessive, but the one thing I can do with them is share them with others who like to see what's out there. I know my tastes may not be their tastes, but someone will like what there is. I'm not the only weirdo in the world that likes these particular patterns and designs. So I'm going to go ahead and keep posting them, even though viewership so far has been kind of low, because who knows, over time, someone may stumble across them and enjoy what's there. So here we go. I'm going to just give you a little bit of information about each kit. I know that my camera's going to keep focusing itself in and out and other annoying things, and my color's not the best. But if I tell you enough, maybe you can find the ones that interest you on your own elsewhere and get a much better look at the things that might be attractive to your eye. All right, this first kit up today is from Mareshka, and yes, I will pronounce all kinds of things wrong because I don't have any idea how to say them properly. It is called White Flowers. It's on a 16 count Aida. Apparently the same kit is available in on an even weave, but that's not what I got. Here's what it looks like. They have another very similar design, the name of which I cannot remember, but this one I found very appealing. And a lot of people like to see the backs of the kits to see how they're packaged up. These are really some lovely bright greens and things, and my camera just does them no justice at all. Sorry about that. But that is the first one up in today's box. Today's box is kind of miscellaneous, and it's just picking up where I left off in my last kit video. This is a Riolis piece called, I don't actually know the name, something about blackberries. It's kit 990, and usually you can find the Riolis kits if you look them up by their numbers. It has a stitch count of 136 by 101. I like to mention that when I know it, which isn't very often for the kits. Usually that's more common on charts, because it gives you an idea just how large the piece is that you're dealing with and how much stitching would be involved. I like these botanical kind of designs, and on the back we can't really see what's in the kit, but we get some nice ads for other things available from Riolis that might be similar. It's going to be a lot of crinkling today, my apologies. Here is another Mareshka kit on, it says Aida or even weave. I believe we're on an Aida, 16 count Aida. And I think they called this one Pheasant. The pheasant, there it is on the side. Sometimes I just can't find the information on the packaging quickly enough to make any coherent sense. But there you go, there's the packaging. This was a series of designs, and I got 2 or 3 of them, I think, but there were certainly others available. Here's one of the others that I did get. It's called the Owl. Some of the ones I remember, there was a deer and a fox. I think I have the pheasant, the owl, and the hare. This is again on a 16 count Aida. They call it rustico for the color. To me it looks a little bit like a fiddler's cloth kind of fabric. And there you go. I think I may have showed the hare in another video because it was probably with my rabbit designs or something, I don't know. Here's another botanical. How often have you been enticed into something because it looked fast and easy? I'm probably entirely wrong about that. This has a design size of 90 by 130 stitches, and it looked like it would be fast and easy, but are they ever? This is Riolis kit 1060. Don't remember the name. It was named for whatever berries those are, I believe. And it's on a 14 count Aida with 12 colors of wool and acrylic yarn, which is often the case with, but not always the case with the Riolis kits. This box really is quite miscellaneous. It just represents the things that I got over the past year or so mostly, but sometimes they are things that I pulled out wanting to work on, and they never got put back where they came from, so they ended up in these miscellaneous boxes. That happened with this one, which is certainly not a recent purchase. It's from Bernat. I got it on the secondhand market. eBay is what I usually mean by that. It is called Summer Posies. They say it's on a 14 mesh, which is an unusual way to describe cross stitch. Usually that's used for needlepoint, but this is counted cross stitch. The original artist was Helen Burgess. They did a lot of her pieces as cross stitch pieces back then. And back then is, I don't know for sure the date on this, but I think it's the 1980s. Let's see. No obvious date on the outside of the packaging, but it probably is at least that old. This one is Folk Art Sampler designed by Diane Authors from Imaginating. It's a really bright red. To give you an idea, the DMC packed in here is $4.98. So you could find out just how bad my camera is by looking at a skein of $4.98 floss and comparing it to kind of how it's looking on my camera. But it should be really bright, beautiful red. Folk Art Sampler. This one should have been with the Bernat one probably. It's from Serendipity Designs. In fact, they probably both ended up in here because I pulled them out because they were so similar and I wanted to do one or the other. Anyway, it's called Spring Glory. It's from the Victorian Floral Collection from Serendipity Designs. It's their number, looks like L177. Very classic kind of a design. Doesn't change much over time when you're doing that kind of floral piece. And there you go, there's the packaging. This one I was inspired to get by seeing another Flosstuber working on it. That is very often one of my, I'm sorry, I'm trying to come up with the word for it. When you have a weakness, one of your soft points, one of your vulnerable spots, is seeing other Flosstubers working on things that appeal to me. This is a counted cross stitch piece called Circle of Songbirds from Janlin. It's on a 14 count Aida. And the reason it appealed to me, and I don't know if the Flosstuber said something about it or not, but there was a story in James Herriot's series of books, All Creatures Great and Small, and its sequels, and I don't remember which one had it, but he visited an older woman with her pets that needed attention, and for some reason this makes me think of that. I don't know if she had it. It probably didn't, probably had nothing to do with that, but it makes me think of that. It was a very touching story about this woman and her pets. And so when I see this and I think of those books, I don't know, it all goes together. Long story for Circle of Songbirds and why I got it, but it was being stitched up beautifully by the Flosstuber that I saw working on it, and it's a nice piece even though it's quite old. Age does not equate to beauty in the case of cross stitch. This is a newer one that was pretty simplistic looking. It just says landscape. It's article number K104. It was made in Turkey. What can I say about it? I think it came from Lovecraft's. It was cheap. Must have been on clearance. I don't know. But it's simple and sweet, and sometimes that's all we want. And we look at them and we think, oh, how fast and easy that would be to make. It looks like it's a non-divisible thread. Those can be a little annoying to work with. They don't lie as pretty as the divisible kinds like Anchor and DMC, but still, we look at those and think, oh, how fast and easy that would be. And of course, we're quite wrong, but it still called to me, and I got it. I think I need to reduce a little of the talking today and stop boring you. So let's try to just stick to the basics. Lots of you have seen this one. This is Winter Cabin from Dimensions Gold Collection. You probably even had the good fortune to see it stitched up by folks like Mama Bear Stitchery, and it is absolutely beautiful. People comment on the reflections in the water, the lights of the cabin, the beauty of the snow, whatever, take your pick. It's all wonderful. And it is on a 16 count gray Aida, and that's what it looks like in its packaging. This is I will find the name. Christmas Tree. Gee, that was hard to think of. Christmas Tree from Designs for the Needle. It is on a 14 count Aida. It was kind of an imprint of Leisure Arts. Sometimes I'm able to find things like dates on these. This is certainly not recent. It has a charm and beads included with it because it's a little more blingy than you can really tell from the packaging. Dimensions, Needle Crafts, Black and White Hens. I fought over getting this one for so long. I fought with myself over it because I like a couple of the chickens. It's not like I feel a great need to stitch the entire thing. Notice how they have sort of just a couple of chickens plucked out of it. That's sort of the way I felt about it. I don't necessarily need to stitch all the chickens on the fence to satisfy how much I like these little birdies, but they're on a 14 count light blue Aida. I thought they were giving me a designer's name, but that's not what's going on. Anyway, there they are. I don't know why I'm so slow today. Some days I can sail right through these, and sometimes I just seem to get distracted and unnecessarily babble about stuff you don't need to hear. This is Permin. It's on a 28 count even weave. It's number 706426. What else can I say? I don't see a name. But there it is. It's that rose and other flowers lying together. There. I've never done a black even weave before. I don't know if that's any more challenging than I've done Aida. And I've done linens, but I don't know whether the black's harder. I guess I'll be finding out. Now we have several that I kept looking at in the catalogs. Things like Hirschner's and the Stitchery. They are also available at all kinds of websites. And I ended up getting some of them from 123 Stitch and some from Arts and Designs and maybe Love Crafts. I don't remember. But I admired them for a very long time, and they just were not at my price point, the point that entices me to think, yes, I'll go ahead and spend the money on that. I shouldn't have spent the money on any of these things. I have far too many already, but I still have a price point. Anyway, I like these woodblock designs, this very graphic art kind of look to it. I don't have the right vocabulary to describe what it is because I was not an art major or anything, but I really like them. They say they're based on Japanese woodblock prints. So this is Bathi Threads Tulip Blooms on a 14 count Aida, and I'm just going to show you each of the others. They're all pretty much in the same series. I didn't get every single one of them because they didn't all fall to the price that I could justify to myself, to my conscience. But here's Poppy Garden, which is not really quite the same. This is based on original artwork by Faye Miladowska, but it still has that kind of woodblock look to it. Also on a 14 count cream Aida. Hope not too much of the chart is trying to peek through there. But this is part of the flower series. This is Iris Blooms on a 14 count Aida. And they look as though, again, they'd be easy to stitch up, and we always say that to ourselves, and they all take just as much time, whether it's easy or hard. This is Orchid Blooms, really nice bright pink. 14 count cream Aida. That same woodblock flower series. This is Dahlia Blooms. Yeah, I like florals. I've shown lots of them in my videos so far, and I like Asian style things, and this kind of brings the two together with the woodblock, the Japanese woodblock origin for these, and the floral motifs. This is Water Lily Blooms. Also 14 count cream Zweigart. This is Rose Blooms. And that was all I was able to get. I did like also daffodil blooms, I think it was, but was not able to. Again, it didn't fall within my price point. But don't you think I have quite enough to stitch? I think I probably have quite enough to stitch. But that's rose blooms from Bothy Threads, 14 counts. All right, I have just a few left in this box, and then I can start on my last large miscellaneous box. Oh, wait a minute. I see a whole bunch of small ones hiding on the side. This one, I have feelings about this one. A Flosstuber who was one of the first to ever comment on my videos and who used to comment on everyone's and welcome them to the fold and posts virtually nothing now and is very hard to find, was stitching this one. She went, when I first found her, under the name of Mrs. Baker Girl, and then she was Granny Baker in Stitches, and now she just has a handful of videos under her maiden name, Jane Pendle. That's Jane like Jane Mansfield. And she hasn't been posting, and I was never in personal contact with her, and I miss her. But this is one of the pieces she did, and I liked to watch her working on this one. So I got it thinking of her. It is called Oriental Birdcage. It's from DMC. I think she originally was stitching it for her mother-in-law. She may have done it more than once. It's a little hard to remember now. But when I found the opportunity to get it, I put it in order, and then it wasn't available. I think that was at Amazon or something. They promised me that when it got back in stock, they'd be able to ship it, and they never did. So I ended up getting it probably 1-2-3 stitch, and it's on a 14 count Aida, and it just makes me think of pleasant associations that I have with the stitcher who did it, with the fact that it's birds and flowers, with just a number of things. And this is Vervaco. I can never say the name of that company. I haven't a clue. It's koala with baby. I like animal kits. Don't have tons of them. There are far more than I actually have, but I do like it. There's the floss. It's on a, I don't know, 27, no, it's on a 14 count. It's available on a 27 count also, but this one is on 14 count. A lot of mine are available in both, and my trouble with the even weaves is that I struggle to count them. With Aida squares, they're very easy to count, but with even weave, I worry about losing my place, and I don't know, it's just, of course, the effect is beautiful when they're stitched, but I think that's why I hesitate to get them. But I have some, and I'll get some of them done. This is, again, Vervaco. They have a lot of designs similar to this. I don't know why this is the only one that spoke to me. It's called Cheerful Santas. And they are in a bright, cheerful red. And that is on a, you think I'd get quicker at finding this, a 14 count Aida. This was the last, another one with associations for me. I kept looking at it, kept thinking about getting it, looked at it at catalogs, looked at it at 1-2-3 Stitch, looked at it in all kinds of places. Thought, no, I don't need any more kits. Yes, I do. No, I don't. And then I found out that my Hobby Lobby was clearancing all of their cross-stitch things, pretty much. I found out too late. When I went in, this was almost the only thing left. But it happened to be something I'd been wanting for a long time and fighting with myself over. So of course I got it, and I'm happy I have it. And it makes me think, memories of when Hobby Lobby had its glory days of cross stitch are gone. So I have associations with this too. But it's on a 14 count white Aida. I've seen people stitching it up. It's really a cute piece. And there's what it looks like in its packaging. And it's probably the last cross-stitch thing I will ever buy at that store, because they just don't carry anything anymore. Not anything to speak of, except a couple of really tiny kits. All right, this is from Luca S. Again, doesn't it look like it would be fast and simple? Yeah, they never are, but it isn't too large a piece. It probably would, relatively speaking, be fast and simple. It's on an 18 count Aida. I'm looking desperately for a name but can't find one. Communication. It's right there above my thumb. communication. And there's what it looks like in its packaging. Okay, in this same box, kind of stuffed on the side, I have piles of small things, and it looks like nearly all of them are going to be Southwest Decoratives. At the time that this company moved from their Albuquerque store to a new place a little south of there, they had kind of a, I don't know if I could call it a sale. I can't remember, but it was an opportunity to kind of go through my wish list of all of the ones in this Southwest Design series that I didn't have, and just finally decide for myself, okay, which ones do you want? Let's just do it. And so you're going to see a bunch. It was pretty much me going through my wish list and crossing off everything. So this one is called Rosette Pot. It's a Zuni Rosette Pot on a 14 count Aida. Again, from Southwest Decoratives, copyright 2013, designed by Ellen Nadler. There's what it looks like in the packaging. This is, I cannot pronounce it, Yay 3. Rugs of the Southwest series, 2013, Southwest Decoratives. This is Akama Rainbird Pot, 2013, designed by Ellen Nadler, Southwest Decoratives. They're really bright, pretty colors most of the time. I just can't. I'm not going to go out and buy a new computer for this. I'm sorry. This computer, by the way, that I'm working from is probably, I don't know, 12 or 14 years old at least. So that's why you're not getting anything fancy. It's what I've got. This is Germantown. Again, Rugs of the Southwest series, copyright 2013. I mentioned in another video how much I like these kind of geographic designs. They needn't even necessarily be Southwest designs. They just appeal to me. This is Germantown 3. All of these are named for particular styles of weaving or patterns of rugs. And it's 2013. Rugs of the Southwest series. It's actually a nice bright gold color there. Yellow, bright, pretty. This is Rio Grande. 2013, Southwest Decoratives. All of these pretty much I think have been on 14 count Aidas. They don't always point it out on the front, but usually it's in the instructions. They tell us that. Multiple Germantown. Almost got this, almost got it at eBay, but the price was so close to their normal price at their site, I just couldn't justify it. The difference is that eBay wouldn't have had the shipping, but as I said, they were kind of having a deal. It might have been, I may be making this up, maybe things were 20% off. I don't know. Maybe the shipping was forgiven for certain amounts. I really don't remember. I just know I crossed off everything on my wish list. Everything. So, this is Naslini. And all of these are saying copyright 2013 Southwest Decoratives, but most of them are patterns that they had around much longer in earlier iterations of their company, like NP Designs. This is Wide Ruins 2. These are all fairly small. That one has a finished, but they are all full coverage also. So that particular one there, for example, had a finished design size of 5 3/4 inches by 8.5 inches on a 14 count fabric, but all full coverage. They take, the last one I did, I estimated to take about 75 hours. I stitch about 100 stitches an hour, so they are small projects as cross stitch goes. This is called Old Style 2. I like the little train on it. And I think we're almost out. This is Chief Blanket 2. I have a lot more of these in my small kits. These are just the ones that, as I said, I took advantage of their moving sale and just crossed off everything that I didn't already have, and I already had at least that many. Okay, I'm going to pause you. We're at 24 minutes. I think I can grab my next box and get you started in some more designs that are mostly more recent acquisitions. So hang on. Started to move my box to put it away and found out I missed one. This is Chief Blanket 3. Southwest Decoratives Rugs of the Southwest series. Now I'll go get my box. When I say recent, I don't mean truly recent in most cases. Some are from the last year, but some are just not like the ones that came out of my bins that I've had for decades. Here we have an RTO kit called PIMS. It's their article CU072. Those aren't really incredibly bright yellows. They're kind of muted yellows, but they're still brighter than, of course, what my camera gives you. This is Riolis. They have quite a number of nice landscapes. This one is 1543. It's on a 14 count Aida with 15 colors of the wool and acrylic yarn and 13 colors of anchor. So it's one of their designs that actually uses both to good effect. It's copyright 2015. And there's the packaging. This is one I wanted for a long time and finally gave in and got. It is from Designworks. It is on a 14 count Aida. It's called Elephant Trio. But maybe you've been in that situation where you worry that something is going to go out of production, or if you don't get it now, it won't be there anymore. And so I considered this for years, from the first time I saw it. And finally, I thought you will regret it if you don't get it and it becomes unavailable. So that was the sign that you just need to get it and get it off your brain. I have one of those brains that has things that dwell on it if I don't succumb to the demands of my obsessions. And I need to work on that. I need to avoid starting the obsessions to begin with, which means not going to websites that show me things that entice me. This is a Pana kit. You can see the article number there, 844. I have no idea of the name in English. The designer is Ilyina, something like that. They're just nice, bright yellow flowers. They tell us it's on I think that's probably 14 count. They're not actually directly saying, but it's what it looks like to me. And that was, I can't repeat the name for you because it didn't have a name. Here's another one. I got all of these pretty much at the same time, probably all from the same website. This is another Pana kit, article 0898. Just really lovely flowers. I like the way they must have half crosses or something in the background to kind of give it the look that it has of dimension. And I really, 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 really like all of these. I just wish I could stitch them. Oh, good, a name, Silver Morning. This is Silver Morning, kit number C0898. The other one was called Yellow Daffodils, the one right before this. I just noticed the sticker on the back told us that. I'm just so observant, aren't I? Not. This is a Pana embroidery kit called Royal Animal. They had kind of a series of different animals, and the lion was the one who caught my eye and enticed me into purchasing him. And he is on a black Aida. I've mentioned in other videos that my father was fond of ships. This is from Pana called Tall Ship. Oh, they give us the stitch count, 101 by 137. And you can see it's pretty much looks monochromatic to me. So we can't see the floss, but I'll bet you anything it's just a big bundle of black floss. This is a Pana kit number 828. Designers Ilyina again. I'm sure I'm saying her name wrong. I'm terrible at that. Really lovely little, looks, I don't know how I would describe it, Japanese summer house? I don't know. We have a lady in a kimono standing on a bridge looking at the cherry blossoms. Japanese lantern over here. Just really nice. Checks off all the boxes for me. It's called Japanese Garden. Japanese Garden. Here's another one that I first became acquainted with in one of the British cross-stitch magazines. They have an article called What's Out There, and they showed this kit, and I thought that's very charming, but I didn't get it then. It took a long time before I finally succumbed. It's called Walking Ladies. It's from Pana, and they're in kind of Regency style dress, as you might expect from the Jane Austen era, but not necessarily. That isn't only England. You know, this was a fashion around the world, so these ladies could very well be walking on the street in some other place that has nothing to do with England. This is a Pana kit. Looks like pt10. I love the holly and the snow, and it has a stitch count of 63 by 101. I've mentioned before there's something about the pagan roots of our winter holidays that's evoked by some of these symbols like holly, and it just appeals to me. It's called Christmas Card. ot1742, Christmas Card. Okay, and that is my 30-minute mark. I thought it probably would be. Those were all kind of in a bag together because I got them at the same time. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I still have quite a few in this box to get through. Also, I'll probably film another one today. All of these will be posted at some point for folks who like to binge watch. I've been putting them into a playlist. Or they can just sit there and gather dust. I don't care. I have to get the project off my brain, and the project is to film all of these because I've been wanting to do it for so very long. So I'll just give you a little preview of what would be coming up in the next video. I think I showed these when I acquired them or when I stitched one. And I will be chatting to you all in another video. Bye-bye. Have a good stitchy day.